Transit is installing state-of-the-art security cameras at its South Jersey facilities. It's all thanks to a more than $2 million federal security grant. The cameras will be installed along the river line at rail stations and at bus garages. They're equipped with tracking and intrusion detection software.
Orlando police have expanded a pilot program testing facial recognition using city cameras.
Everywhere we go, everywhere we set foot, rest assured that there's probably a camera that's watching all of our activity.
New at 6, we found out they eventually want to expand the program to public and private cameras across the city.
The City of Ontario is updating their camera system they have. They want to lower crime in the city, and they think the cameras will help. They will use facial recognition technology. Our Joy Prechtel spent the day in Ontario and tells us how it'll work.
Cameras like these ones are being installed throughout the city of Ontario. They're going to be in places that the city owns. So think of, Beck Park where I am, as well as places like City Hall. Now, the city is working to add more throughout the year. And I talked to one downtown business owner today who told me she wants that extra security.
London police are set to roll out live facial recognition technology across the city, despite privacy concerns from the government's own surveillance watchdog. The camera will send an alert to authorities when it detects anyone on wanted lists.
It has trialled the technology. Now it's to begin using it for real. Scotland Yard says facial recognition cameras will be vital in spotting criminal suspects and missing and vulnerable people.
Cameras in and around schools are nothing new. From the gym to the cafeteria, Raytown High has 100 of them. District-wide, there are 1,000. And security staff can only watch so many screens at once.
This is just one of those cameras at Raytown High School. With this new system, when you walk past that camera, if you're flagged as a problem, security doesn't have to actually see you. You'll have an alert sent out to security and administrators.
So this facial recognition measures 150,000 points on your face.
Assistant Superintendent Dr. Travis Huck says the idea came to him when this happened. The accused shooter was a former student with a long list of disciplinary actions against him. He wasn't actually expelled, but the expulsion list that Raytown keeps is an example that jumped out to Dr. Hucks.
An expelled student comes to the entry or walks in front of any camera, they're going to be flagged because they're in the system as expelled. An alert's going to be sent out. If we go into a lockdown before he's even in the building, the police are already on the way to help secure the threat.
Denver police are still considering using this technology in investigations, and it can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, I like that my phone recognizes my face to easily unlock it, but on the other hand, do we really want some Orwellian dystopia where the government can track our every mood? Last year, CBI, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, was considering employing the Morpho Argus, a real-time video streaming facial recognition program. We checked yesterday, and CBI told us they didn't end up buying that program, but they did purchase other software that allows them to take images of people and compare them to mugshots in the federal database.
All it's doing is using what's readily available.
And that is the argument you'll hear from law enforcement, that they're just matching this to mugshots. Critics, however, argue that it could be used on those of us who've never been arrested. If we have an ID in the system, we could be used in a virtual police lineup without our knowledge.
Effective immediately. Due to Tarrant County's executive order, all Trinity Metro customers are required to wear face masks through August 3rd.
The Singapore government has been relying on technology to ensure that the people who do go into these shops, go into the offices, they have to virtually check in and check out using an app called Safe Entry. And that's because the government wants to keep tabs on people in case there's a new cluster of infections. In fact, technology has become so much a part of the response here in Singapore that if you go to one of the parks here, for instance, you might bump into this robot dog. I think you can see pictures of him on your screen right now. He's being trialed in some Singapore parks to encourage people to maintain their social distance from one another. So certainly a vision of the future from Singapore where some people have liked it and others not so much.
这是咱们穿的无人机啊！你不戴口罩就不要出去，不要乱跑，记得赶紧回家，回家洗洗手，对吧？注意一下卫生。 对吧？咱们村这么多人都说你都说不住，非得派无人机过来飞你。大爷，这是非常时期，你不戴口罩又往外跑，对吧？那雪过几个月也能化了，对不对？在家里边待着不舒服吗？对吧？又有吃的又有喝的，刚过了个年，你干嘛老往外跑？对吧？过几年也能收拾。别笑了，赶紧骑你的3轮车回家，对吧？没事别往出跑，你看口罩也不戴，你还看啥？赶紧走，对吧？回家好好待着去。非常时期啊，赶紧回去。
对面那个电动车上装着粉色等分贝的大哥，请你戴上口罩啊，戴上口罩。打电话的帅哥，你口罩呢？赶紧给戴上。迎面走过来的美女边上的那位帅哥，看到你戴着口罩了啊，把口罩戴好，戴好。边走边吃的几位美女，抓紧的把口罩戴上。东西可以回家吃。
小朋友，现在是非常时期，别在外面溜达，口罩也没戴，赶快往家走。现在这冠状病毒多严重啊，快跑！别再出来了啊！在家好好待着，为社会做贡献。
Members of the public are reminded to keep a safe distance of 6 feet from others while in public places to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Please help us keep you safe. Thank you for your cooperation.
Please maintain a social distance of at least 6 feet. Again, please maintain social distancing. Please help stop the spread of this virus, reduce the death toll, and save lives. For your own safety and your family's safety, please maintain social distancing. Thank you for your cooperation. We are all in this together.
So here's the rebound rundown tonight. The state's health department will be paying a Virginia company more than $6 million to expand its contact tracing program. But we've discovered the government contractor, Maximus Inc., has little experience with contact tracing, but a history of complaints. Its own workers have complained about being underpaid. The company has also been accused of underbidding projects, understaffing jobs, and underperforming. Most recently, its employees contracted by the CDC to inform the public about COVID-19 complained their own call center was not adhering to CDC guidelines.
Well, it's a bit like buying war bonds during the war. I mean, there are things that we might not ordinarily do, but in these circumstances, to keep people safe, to save lives, and to save people's livelihoods and get them back to work, if that tool is going to help people do that, then this may be one of the sacrifices we need to make.
In our new normal, experts say that contact tracing will play an increasingly important role. Tracers help to track those who may have been exposed to coronavirus and those that they've come in contact with along the way, a focused approach to slowing the disease's spread. Paterson, New Jersey is a city of 150,000 outside of New York City. It's seen the success of a contact tracing program firsthand. The city is one of the most densely populated in the country, so they doubled the staff on their tracing team to fight the outbreak.
Factors we have found that have played into this is gathering homes for things like birthday parties, for funerals, and for Bible study groups.
We've continually heard about how coronavirus is spreading and where new cases are emerging from. But how do we actually know this information?
Hello? Hi, this is Hiba. I'm a contact tracer from Yolo County Public Health.
This is the phone call you'll receive if you've been exposed to COVID-19. It comes from a contact tracer.
Contact tracing is very important. It's very important because this virus it spreads fast.
We need to isolate infected people so they don't spread the disease to others.
Contact tracers are the individuals who are actually tracking the spread of coronavirus.
It kind of sounds like a little bit like a disease detective.
Yeah.
State employee who asked to be kept anonymous said, "We're being told we have no choice in the redirect and may be subject to discipline if we do not comply in performing contact tracing that a lot of us have no interest in doing. A lot of us fear retaliation if we don't comply. I myself never felt owned by my government until now." Labor law experts say it is legal for these employees to be mandated to do a job outside of their own due to two things: their civil service classification, as well as the current state of emergency we're in.
This could happen anywhere. This could happen at my school.
Districts now train students and staff how to prepare if they face an attack. Most students today have experienced a lockdown of their school because of an emergency on or near campus.
We come here to learn and get an education. And if you have to worry about a threat of not making it home that night, then you're not going to be learning that much.
At Putnam City Schools, they have spent $10 million in the past 4 years on school security.
Things have dramatically turned.
Their network of surveillance cameras are monitored 24/7.
We have someone in here in the dispatch watching the cameras, monitoring the alarms, making sure our schools are safe and secure even through the night.
900 cameras district-wide.
Probably about 2,000 motion detection devices, about 200 sound detection devices.
And those cameras are now fully equipped with facial recognition.
opening up look like? Which activities have, like schools, have such benefit and can be done in a way that the risk of transmission is very low?
Yeah.
And which activities, like mass gatherings, may be, in a certain sense, more optional. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all.